Somebody coming into the. We must be. Say again from where? We're in.
فاتته أكثر من الصلاة يوم وليلة من ساعته التي بدأ بها.
Check the razor. Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Where is it? We start from? Huh? Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The masla we're discussing here is that if you have missed lesser than 6 salat, so that was 5 and lesser, then you cannot read the current salah until you read your must salah. That is what we're discussing. So just before we start the actual lesson, for example, morning you must your fajr namaz, then you cannot read your zohr namaz today until you not read the fajr namaz. And likewise, if the must salah is the must salawat a 5 and lesser, if the must salawat, then you have to read those 5 salat and then you can read your current salah. And the conditions are 3 that you must remember. You got the must salat. There must be time to read the must salat. If there is no time, then the current salah will become qadha, then you read the current salah. If you forgot you had the qadha salah, then the current salah will be correct, even though you don't read it. And also the other third condition is there must be 5 and lesser. If it is 6, exactly 6 and more, because 6 must salah and more, then the condition of reading your qadha namaz first drops off, right? That is what we discussed thus far. So keeping that background in mind, we're going to proceed today with the lesson, inshallah. Then we said also that we have proof for all of this here. In fact, at the time of Lukias here, we said, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَلَوْ فَاتَتُ صَلَوَاتٌ رَتَّبَهَا فِي الْقَضَاءِ كَمَا وَجَبَتْ فِي الْعَصْلِ. Like I told you, if you got 5 in lesser qadha, then you found it. Where is it? وَلَوْ فَاتَتُ صَلَوَاتٌ رَتَّبَهَا فِي الْقَضَاءِ كَمَا وَجَبَتْ فِي الْعَصْلِ. If you got 5 in lesser salah, you have to put it in order like how it became wajib upon you. And some example is, you must, for example, today, Fajr, Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, this whole day you are out. I don't know what happened to you, why you never read Salah. You're feeling a bit crazy, whatever, and you never read your Salah. So tomorrow morning, the next morning, you woke up and you started to read your Salah. So what we'll say first, you'll have to, because it's 5 and lesser, you'll have to read your Fajr, Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha in order, and then you can read today's Salah. Or even if the Mas Salah was not in that order, was like some other order, whatever, but it can't happen in the other order because it would be that it was in this order because it was in some other order, you wouldn't be able to read the previous salah, right? So, you understand what I'm saying? it can only be in this order. It couldn't be one salah here, one salah there, one salah because unless the only way that could be like that is where you had a lot of salah and now you're reading them and it became lesser. But generally, this is how it happened. You follow what I'm saying? That you must Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. So tomorrow morning you got up and say, hey, I must play Salah. You have to read it for Salah, right? So لو فات صلوات مرتبة في القضاء كما وجب في الأصل لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم شغل عن 4 صلوات يوم الخندق. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم also must for Salah the Khandaq, right? فقضاؤنا مرتبا. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم put them in exact order, right? ثم قال صلوا كما رأيتم يصلي. They said, read like how you see me reading. إلى أن تنزل فوائد على 6 صلوات. Except when your must salah is more than 6 or more. Little more details coming of this here, but I'll explain to you. If you've got 6 complete qada salat on you, and when do we say the salah become qada? When the time go out. As long as the time is in, we all say the qada is the salah is qada, which you can still read it. You can still read it. So with the exit of the salat of the 6th time, and also I mentioned to you, don't count the witr. The witr is also qada, but it is tabi, it follows the faraz. So when you miss the 6th salah, and when will we say you miss the 6th salah? When the time goes out. So listen to me nicely. Let's look for an example. Say from today you must Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Tartib is still wajib upon you. Tartib is still wajib upon you. So tomorrow when you read your Fajr, you have to read these 5 salawat before you can read the Fajr. But let's say you must also the Fajr namaz tomorrow morning. So when will you say you must the Salah? When the sun rises. When the time for the 6th Salah come out. When the time for the 6th Salah. So when the sun rises on the 2nd day, now we'll say you must 6 Salah. Right? Now Tartib doesn't become wajib. Now the Zohar of the 2nd day, you can read the Zohar of the 2nd day without reading because you got 6 or more. So now it's too much to force you to read it one time. So now there's a principle also in Shariah. I told you the usul al-fiqh becomes إِذَا ضَاقَ الْأَمْرُ اتَّسَعَ. What? When things become very difficult, then Shariah makes easy. So now Shariah is considered having 6 qada, difficult to make all one time. So now you don't have to read your namaz in order. You can read the Zohar of the next day without reading these 6 qada. Are you with me? Are you clear on that? Right. So see, إلا أن تزيد الفوائد على 6 صلوات. Right? Why? لأن الفوائد قد كثرت. Because now 6 and more is a lot. 6 and more is a lot. لأن الفوائد قد كثرت. فيسقط الترتيب. It's a lot. So now we say we don't force you to make tartib. فيسقط الترتيب فيما بين الفوائد نفسها. So even in the 6 that you must also, that also you don't have to make that even in that the order is not necessary. So from this you learn something interesting. When you got 2 things you learn. When you got 5 and lesser qadha, you can't read the next day salah until you not read it 5. That's the one thing. And that 5 salah itself must be done in order. So you understood it. So if I miss today for the 5 salah, I want to read now tomorrow my Fajr namaz. So I'm going to make qadha of this 5 salah. First I have to read the 5 salah that's in its place before I read the Fajr. Next thing is that 5 salah also must be done in order. See there? You have to read first Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. See here? So فيسقط الترتيب فيما بين الفوائد نفسها. But yes, when I miss the 6 salah the next day, now even that qadha, I can do it in upside down order, whatever, doesn't matter. Or if I got 6 or more, there's no order between it. You understood it? Right? So, kama sakata bainaha wa bain al-waqtiya, like how the order, the compulsion of making the qadha before the current salat drops off, like that also the compulsion of having the order between it also drops off. So you can make so I can make that 6 salah, I can make the Zohar first and the Maghrib second, whatever, right? You understood it? Right? Then they're saying, وحد الكثرة. Okay, you read it. وحد الكثرة. وحد الكثرة.
وحد الكثرة أن تسير الفوائد 6 لخروج وقت الصلاة الثالثة، وهو المراد بالمذكور الجامع الصغير، وهو قول وإن فاتته أكثر من صلاة يوم وليلة أجزأته التي بدأ بها هذا على يوم وليلة تفسير 6. وعن محمد رحمه الله أنه اعتبر دخول وقت الثالثة والأمر لأن الكثرة في الدخول في حد القرار، وذلك في الأول ولو اجتمعت الفوائد
Right, interesting, Master. Yeah. So listen now, listen nicely. You have to understand the previous to understand all build up. So now we told you, listen, we told you if it's 5 and less, Tartib drops off. If it's 6 and more, sorry, it's 5 and less, Tartib remains. But if it's 6 and more, Tartib drops off. Now, why do we consider 6 and more, Tartib drops off? Why do we say, how do we come to this figure here? How did we come to the figure that 6 and more is considered a lot, and now 13 will drop off? They say, this is interesting. Look here, they say, look here, when you miss 5 salah, right? You must, for example, Fajr, Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and the next day you want to read your Fajr. We won't consider it a lot. You consider something a lot when you have to repeat and repeat and repeat, then you consider a lot. Now, when you must Fajr the next day, that means you must 2 Fajrs. So you've repeatedly must 2 Fajrs. So now you say there's a lot because 2 days you must sing Fajr. You understand that reasoning? Interesting reasoning. So if I must 1 whole day Salah, I'm only missing Fajr for the first time. I'm missing Zohr for the first time. I'm missing Asr for the first time. We're not saying it's permissible, not. We're just saying what is considered to be a lot. So I'm missing Asr for the first time. I'm missing Maghrib for the first time. I'm missing Isha for the first time. So there's no repetition. It's 5 new salawat you're missing. But if I missed all 5 salat, and the next morning I must Fajr again. I say, now man, you are pushing it. You must full 5 salah. Again, you're missing your Fajr today. You are repeating, you're committing the same crime over and over. You must see. So now this is a lot. So there's a lot. So we consider 6 to be a lot. We consider 6 to be a lot. وحد الكثرة أن تسير الفوائد ستة. The had means like the definition or the limit of kathra is أن تسير الفوائد is when the salat is reached 6. And then لخروج وقت الصلاة السائلة, for the coming out, it will be with the coming out of the 6th salah. So when do you say you must a salah? This is an important mas'ala, although it's related to this, but I want to take some time to explain this for myself to understand it. When will you say you must the salah? Only when the time come out. So once the 6th time enters, we won't say you must 6 salah. Simple example, again with the example. You must Fajr, must Zohr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. So the next day, tomorrow, Fajr time entered already. We won't say you must 6 salah, because you can still read your Fajr time now. Yes, when the sun rises and the time of the 6th salah exited, now we will say that you have missed the 6th salah. Now we will say you've missed the 6th salah. Now we'll say a 6th salah become qaza on you. So then when the exiting of the 6th salah time comes out, now we'll say Zohr time now tartib drops off. So if you're still in Asr day, you're still in the Fajr time, your 6th salah hasn't become qaza on you, although you're in the 6th time. So you must read the 5 salah. Now on this point, I want to expand a little bit on this point here. A lot of masail we learn from this, that you look at the last portion of the time to consider your condition. Until the time is not gone out, you can still read the salah. That is why I'll expand upon this. You know, people often ask the masla that if my salah became qaza when I was a musafir, must I make full namaz qaza? We say you have to make full namaz if when the last moment when the time comes out, you are musafir. Because that is the most important thing which you consider. And people ask the opposite masla also. If my salah became qaza when I was at home, now I'm traveling out to make qaza, I got free time, I'm in Makkah and Mukarramah, I'm a musafir there, I want to read my qaza, umrah, my musafir. Must I make qaza namaz, safar namaz for those that I missed back home? You look at the same thing, you look at the last time when that salah became qaza on you, or you musafir or muqim. If you're musafir, you make musafir, but you are muqim, so you have to make muqim, right? Another masla. I'm just showing you, I'm building on this masala, and I'm showing you that the last moment is considered. Look at the ha'idah, the woman experience menses, etc. You want to know if the salah if she becomes pure, she can, the whole salat time, she can be bleeding. But if she becomes pure just before the exit time of the time, there was enough time to bath, and there was enough time to make takbir ula, that salah becomes wajib upon her. But if she was dirty right through, dirty means she was experiencing menses right through till sun rising, the qadha doesn't become wajib upon her. See, I'm showing you that last part is the critical part. That is what we consider. Another example, this is another example. People often ask this question here. that is it permissible to travel on a Friday, to leave your hometown and not read your Jummah namaz? So obviously, if you read before Jummah time, that's clear. Masla Jummah hasn't become wajib upon you. But once the time of Jummah has set in, can you become a musafir? Can you leave the town? And say hypothetically, you're not going to read Jummah on your road. So a lot of times we think that once Jummah time come in, you can't make safar. It's not permissible to make safar. But if you understand this masla here, which I'm telling you, look here, we're saying you considered the last time. So even though the time came in a Zohr, but you started traveling, there's no sin upon you. Why? Because there's still time to read your Zohr namaz. But now since so to leave town is no problem because there's time to read, there's still time to, not your Zohr, your Jummah, there's still time to read your Jummah namaz. There's still time. So to make safar after the time has come in, Jummah time, is no problem because there's still time, you could read it. And now since you became a Mustafir, Jummah drops off and if you don't read Jummah, no sin. So long as you left the town after the time came in, but there was still time left because it was possible for you to read it this last time and you traveled, no problem, you can travel. And since you are now Musafir, Jummah is not wajib upon you. So you see, you can travel. You can travel on a Jummah after the time come out, even if you're not going to read your, even though you're going to read your, what you call it, you're not going to read your Jummah namaz, you understood it? So this is all based upon this Messiah, that you look at the last time, you look at the last time, you don't look at that. Right, carry on. So we're saying when the time come out, now we'll say the sixth salah became qadha. So remember that's important. Many Muslims who will be dependent, you need to understand it to understand this. Muslim, carry on.
والمراد بذكور الجامع الصغير وهو قوله وإن فاتته أكثر من صلاة يوم وليلة أجزأته.
Interesting now, yeah. You have to listen carefully now. Listen carefully to follow this here. What he's saying in this ibadah here, he's saying, see here, this explanation that we gave you now, that when the sixth salah becomes qadha, and the sixth salah comes qadha with the exit time, and I gave you all our proofs to show you why we say that it comes qadha with the exit time, because before that you can still read it. This is what is meant by the text in Jami Saghir. Remember I told you, Hidayah, the original overline Ibarat, Sahib Hidayah took the Ibarat of Quduri, it's written in Al-Kitab, and he took the Ibarat of Jami Saghir, and he explained it. So basically Hidayah Sharif, which is the best, the most, difficult text in the Hanafi Madhab. Hidayah Sharif is the most difficult text. Why do we, so you'll tell me, why you teach me the most difficult one? Why you don't teach me the easy one? We teach you the most difficult one. Why? Because if you understand the most difficult one, you can pick up all the easier ones and you can understand it. And Hidayah Sharif, there's no book like this in any of the other madhaib, which is so loaded. It is loaded, it is pregnant with usul. You can see I tried to point all the usul out to you. In fact, there's a whole book written where they took all the usul of Hidayah out and they only teach you the usul. And this is more or less the same usul that you do in your usul shashi, which you do at night time. And inshallah, when you do iftar one day, if you do it, all the usul of iftar, it's the same thing that's coming from Hidayah. So this book is loaded. That's why we teach you the most difficult book, so that you can understand the easy ones easy. Now this book is loaded, it is pregnant with usul. That's why if you can grasp the usul, inshallah, it will only benefit you. So I was telling you, Sahib Hidayah, he's explaining to you the masla of Al-Kitab, which is Quduri, and Jami Saghir, right? And and the other thing is his explanation. So what he's saying here, this explanation that we gave you here, that salah only becomes qaza when the time goes out. So it means when the salat of the sixth time, the next day Fajr salah goes out, that Fajr has become qaza. So now you got 6 or more salat, and now because you got 6 or more salat, your tertib drops off. This, it is what is meant from the text in Jami Saghir, not the expression of Imam Muhammad. Imam Muhammad got another explanation. He says that when the sixth time come in, then tartib drops off. But that's not right. Why? Because when does the namaz salah become qadha? Only when the time goes out. Only when the time goes out. So this opinion of Imam Muhammad is not in keeping with the usul which I showed you. Only when the time goes out does the salah become qadha. So that's what I tell you. That's about وهو المراد means well. That's about when the sixth time goes out of Fajr the next day. Now you've got six qadha on you. Now 30 dropped off. This is what is meant. Bil madhkuri fil jami sahir. This is what is meant by the text of Jami Sahir. And this is the text what he's speaking about. وقوله وإن فاتت أكثر من صلوات يوم وليلة أجزاء التي بدأ فيها لأنه إذا زاد على يوم وليلة تسير ستا. This is the text of Jami Sahir. This is the text of Jami Sahir. This whole thing here. وإن فاتته أكثر من صلوات يوم وليلة أجزاء التي بدأ فيها لأنه زاد على يوم وليلة تسير ستا. This is the text of Jami Sahir. And this explanation we gave you is of this text here. You understood? See what he's saying. What is the text of Jami Sahir? In fact, to أكثر من صلوات يوم وليلة. If it must him more than the salat of a day night. And what is more than the salat of a day night? What is the salat of a one day and one night? It's 5. So that means if you say more than that, it means it is 6 salat. That it means it's 6 salat, right? Then ajzad allati bada. So if you must more than 6 salat, means you must 5 salat and you must the Fajr. Then that means you must 6 salah. Now you're going to start Zohr of the next day, which is the 7th salah. Then ajza'at allati bada fiha. So now you're reading the Zohr. So the Zohr allati bada fiha is a file. The Zohr you're starting ajzat, it will be fine. Why? Because zada ala yawmin wa laylatin. He's increased more than a day salat and a night salat. He's increased more, not he just suffice on the salat, increase more. So 6 will be more, right? And as I said, the 6 becomes qadha when the time goes out. So that means when the time goes out, he's now done must 6 or more. So what if somebody saying that this text here in Fata to Akhtar, it is the text of Jami Sahir, and the explanation we gave you earlier is the explanation of that. Are you with me? Are you sure? Right. Now he's saying, I told you, not what Imam Muhammad said. وأن محمد أنه يعتبر الدخول وقت الثاني. Imam Muhammad said the moment the 6th, that means the next morning, the moment Fajr time come in, you can now already read your namaz, the current namaz without doing the previous namaz, because the 6th time entered and 34. He said no, not the entry of the 6th time. It must be the exit of the 6th time, because with the exit of the 6th time, that is when 6 salahs become qaza upon you. You understood that? So our explanation, what we gave earlier about that, وحد الكثرة أن تسير الفوائد ستة لخروج وقت. That is explanation of the next text of Jami Sahir, and that's what Imam Muhammad said is not correct, right? والأول والصحيح. I told you the first explanation we give you, that with the exiting of the 6th salah, that is when your 6th salah became wajib. That is when tartib. That is the preferred explanation, right? Why? لأن الكثرة بالدخول في حد التكرار. If you must one day salat, you haven't repeated Fajr, but when you must the 6th salat again, the time goes out. Now you repeat. Now you're pushing it, man. You must one day salat again today. You missing again another Fajr. Second time you missing the Fajr. So this shows takrar. This shows takrar. This shows kasrat. So I'm saying when there's takrar, is kasrat. So when you must only 5 salat, there was no takrar. So if there is no takrar, there's no kasrat. Yes, when you must the Fajr of the next day, the Fajr of today, and all the salat and Fajr of the next day, now there is takrar, repetition. Now there's kasrat. Now because there's kasrat, there's haraj. It drops off. You can read the current salah without reading that. Understood that? So لأن الكثرة بالدخول, because kasrat will only come about بالدخول في حد التكرار, when you enter the definition of takrar, and that is when you must the Fajr of the next day was next time, right? وذلك في الأول, and that is what is in وذلك في الأول, and takrar is will be with regards to the first salah. You must Fajr yesterday and you must it again today. You understood that, right? Okay, the next must also require some explanation. I see time is up. We'll do that tomorrow, inshallah.